G'day guys, Jason from Nailed It Fencing here. In today's video, I'm going to give you some tips on how to continue an existing paling fence. In this case, we want to come down to the front with new paling fencing, and I'll give you some tips on what you need to do to achieve a great result. Check it out. The first thing you're going to want to do is to ensure that the post that you're attaching your new fence to is solid enough to hold a new fence. In this case, it's a little wobbly, but it will do the trick. Now we need to get access to the post from the paling side. We just do this by ripping off the palings with a hammer. Using a Reno tool, we cut the old rail halfway into the old post checkout. This is where we will butt up the new rails, and we'll do the same with the plinth. Make sure to remove or cut any old nails. Now to secure the old rails with bugle screws. Now that we've got this section all clear, we're ready to go. I just want to touch on if this post isn't solid, which this is a lot more solid now that I've stuck in these screws. If this post isn't solid, you're going to have to put in a new post right here to start off. This here is acting as our starter post, but if this post is compromised and it's not very good, well, you're going to have to put a new post in here. Time to string line the remainder of our boundary and mark out the post spacing. Now to dig our holes and set our posts. At this point, we want to set our string line for the top of our plinth, making sure to match up with the top of the old plinth. Now we flush up the top of our plinth to the string line and secure. Now we want to figure out the position of our rails on our newly installed posts. So that we can match with the existing fence, I'll show you a simple way that we can achieve that. To achieve all the same spacings for the rails on the rest of the posts, we're going to use this brand new treaded pine paling to mark out all the positions of the rails and the top cut of the post. First thing you want to do is place the paling on top of the plinth, up against the existing post, just like that, and then mark the top cut. Next, what you'll want to do is place the paling on top of the plinth once again, and marking just the bottoms of each one of the checkouts. The reason why we only mark the bottoms is because we will actually do a proper measurement for what the top of the checkout will be. Now we'll finish off the top cut mark, square off the mark of the bottom of our checkout, measure up 75 millimeters for our rail size and square off again. We'll do this for all three checkouts. Using a circular saw, trim off the top cut, then cut out the checkouts on the template. Now that we've made our stencil, we want to check it up against the old post to see if it all lines up. Beautiful. Now to mark off all the checkouts. In my case, I'm doing a drop down at the front, but if you're going full height for your fence, just continue as you did on the first post. I start with cutting the tops first with my 9 1/4 inch circular saw. I then proceed to use my cordless circular saw to cut the checkouts. Next, I get out the hammer and chisel and notch out those checkouts. Here I've cut my rails to size and stagger them accordingly. Now to secure the rails in place with the framing nailer. Now it's time to start laying out the 150mm wide palings so we can secure them to the fence with our coil nailer. Once the first lot of palings are fixed to the fence, we can begin to lay out our 100mm overlap palings, and then we can secure those to the fence also. Once we've chalk lined the drop down, it's time to start cutting the palings. Well, there you have it. We've completed the continuation of the treated pine paling fence, and I think we've done a bang up job of it. We've got all the plinths lining up nicely, the top is lining up nicely, and all the rails are all coming in at the same positioning. Well, thanks again for watching. If you have any questions, make sure you drop a comment below, like and subscribe if you want to see more. Catch you later.